So on that note, I think it's one after here. So we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Greg Mercer. I am the founder of Jungle Scout and an Amazon FBA seller myself. I've been selling on Amazon for a few years. And we also have Gen here joining us live. Would you like to introduce yourself, Gen?
Hey guys. Yeah, my name is Gen, and I help out at Jungle Scout really as a customer first. And what Greg has helped with was quite inspiring. So I'm here to help you guys as much as possible. So drop it in. I'll be keeping comments, keeping track of the chat room. So any questions, I am writing it down so we can make sure that Greg addresses it today.
Awesome. So yeah, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Amazon, selling on Amazon, and then get in more specifically product research, because it's such an important part of it. So looks like we have all kind of skill levels joining us tonight, everyone from 1 through 5s in our chat box. So just to get started here, let's just do a big picture overview, okay? So Amazon, right? It's this incredible, super powerful marketplace right now. More and more people are shopping on it. It's just, it's a tremendous opportunity. One of the really cool things about it is even small-time sellers like me or you or just your average Joe can sell on this marketplace. It's not like we're trying to get into like Walmart. Amazon's open to everyone, and so we can sell on it. One of the really good opportunities right now is what we like to call a private label, okay? So what we're doing is we can source products from overseas, from factories or even, here in the States, and we can put our specific brands or private label on these products. And the advantages to that is then on Amazon, we have our own listings. We can control the price, we can control the pictures, the description, and so forth. And that gives us a lot more control and, how many reviews we can get and so forth. It makes it worth our while to put in more effort into these products and listings and so forth. So that's a big picture overview. And now let me go ahead and give you an example. So when did we start our collaborative product launch again? Back in, what was that, October, November?
October, yeah.
Okay, cool. So Gen and I and all of our listeners and audience and whoever else wanted to tune in, just a few months ago, we started from the very beginning. So we started from the product research phase and, learning and teaching ourselves. And we sourced a product that were bamboo marshmallow sticks. And let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And what I'm going to show you is this is on, we're on Amazon.com. I searched right here for marshmallow sticks. And we're actually, these are, you see, sponsored. So these are actually paid. You have to pay to get in these spots. We're actually the #1 organic result for marshmallow sticks now. Okay. So, we started with the product research. We saw that there was an opportunity here. There was already sufficient existing demand on Amazon. It wasn't too competitive. We were able to find something to differentiate our product from our competitors. We were able to find a factory for this and so forth. Then we went ahead and sourced this product. We came up with the brand name or the private label of Jungle Sticks. And now this product is live on Amazon. And it's selling about in between 400 and 500 units a month. Okay, so it sells for right now for $20. For this particular product, since it's pretty large, Amazon actually takes a pretty large cut, about $10. But we're buying it for about $5. Amazon takes $10. That leaves about $5 profit per sale, which is 100% return on investment. And we're selling, about like 15 a day. So you can do the math. 15 times $5, that's at about $75 a day in profit. So it's doing pretty well. And we're doing some price testing right now. I imagine we're going to be able to start selling this for $22, $23, $24, which then all of a sudden, our margins are 150 or 200%. And that's when we can really start making some good money. So what am I forgetting about this particular product, Ken?
Well, so one of the interesting things and maybe some people have concerns about the competition, as Amazon is relatively, I mean, it's growing and more people are interested in it. And we did this completely transparently. We have seen some pretty much identical competitors jump into the market. What's been your experience with that?
Yeah, so it's definitely a growing opportunity right now. One of the big disadvantages of publicly launching this product like we did is we showed everyone, okay, this is exactly how you do it. This is our factory. This is how much we're buying it for. And this is how much money we're making every day. So whenever I wouldn't recommend to anyone else watching this to publicly do a product like that. I'd recommend you keep it a little bit of a secret. But that being said, it is getting more competitive. Anyone who tells you otherwise, is either ignorant or lying to you. However, that being said, there's still tons of opportunities out there. You just have to be a little bit smarter. Like a couple of years ago in the Wild Wild West days, you could sell a spatula that you would buy for $1/4 for $20 and, just kill it. Nowadays, like these 100% ROIs are more realistic, and you have to do better product research to find these little, hidden opportunities. So that being said, and guys, we're monitoring the chat box here, especially again, he could relay stuff to me and I'm looking at it too. So if you guys, any questions you have or say, hey, you're going over this too quick or this doesn't make sense or whatever, that's one of the huge advantages about joining us live is, feel free to ask questions right in here and we'll answer them. And if we don't have any questions about the overall opportunity, I'd like to get into a little bit about what makes a good product, the things that I look for and so forth. So, all right. And yeah, it doesn't look like we have, I'll go ahead and answer Raphael's question real quick about, he noticed that it's not a registered trademark. Do we go further than just creating a brand and try to register the brand name as a registered trademark? For us, for this particular product, I haven't worried about this yet. Okay, so what he's talking about is, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again, is, you don't see a little registered trademark symbol next to our name Jungle Sticks. And this is we chose to not do this yet for a few reasons. One is it's pretty time consuming and expensive to register a trademark. And two, really like the main reason or the biggest reason is I don't really think it's necessary at this point. Like Jungle Sticks isn't this household brand that's really valuable for other people to try to like take advantage of, So I haven't seen a large need in it. And one of like the beauties of this whole model is, how simple it is. So we try to keep it as simple as possible, even, in my own Amazon business, just every day. So I'd like to then move on to, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and start and just talk a little bit about, it's like, okay, you guys can now see this is like the type of product you could sell on Amazon. You kind of understand that, Amazon is a marketplace that any normal average Joe like me or you can go and sell on there. So we're going to take it a step further then and say like, okay, what kind of products would you look for if you were just starting out today? And there's a few things that I like to look for, okay? I like for a product to be small and lightweight, all right? The smaller and the lighter, the better. And the reason for this is, it's easier to get from overseas. Your Amazon fees are going to be less if it's smaller and lighter. Some of the other things that I look for is that it's simple and not easily breakable. So an example here, you can see our marshmallow sticks, right? Those are very simple, not easily breakable. Another good example, here are just think of anything simple, like maybe it's a garlic press or a yoga mat, or, these are items that are too competitive now. I wouldn't recommend, but these are the kind of things that, it's like very difficult to break, or, the kitchenware, like the spatulas and the bowls and whatever, right? These are, if the tolerances are a little bit off on these products, or, it goes through kind of rough shipping, These items aren't going to be easily broken, and they don't have to be manufactured to these fine tolerances. Some other things I like to look for is a good price point. So an item that sells for, let's say like $10 or $12 or whatever, after Amazon takes their fees, which, are roughly about 30-40%, if we're just using rough math here, an item that only sells for $10 or $12 or something isn't going to have very much money left over for profits after Amazon takes their cut. So the price range or price point that I look for is I like to do the minimum of around $20. And I actually go ahead and put a maximum on that too of around $50, because I've found that that's kind of like the sweet spot. There's lots of impulse purchases. Most people don't care too much about the brand, at that price and so forth. What are some of the other things I'm forgetting, again, that we look for in a good product?
How about like competition? If there is a big brand or what, something that people want to just buy based on the brand name?
Sure. So, and that's a good point. We like to look for items that don't have a strong brand allegiance, right? So a lot of the clothing or apparel type items, this is true. And a good example of this would be like let's say an Under Armour shirt. It'd be very easy, to copy an Under Armour shirt and make, the same thing. That being said, people are buying this for the brand name, right? They like having a little Under Armour logo on their jacket or shirt or whatever. They don't want your knockoff brand. For instance, on our marshmallow sticks or on your garlic press or whatever, no one really cares, who makes these products. That's another example of a good product. And then the last couple of things that we look for are we want good existing demand on Amazon, and we want it to not be too competitive. So when I say that, a lot of people will say, hey, I had this really good idea. No one's currently selling it on Amazon. This is kind of like a breakthrough type product or whatever. And what I have to say to that is, that's really cool if you have an invention or whatever. However, I personally think it's a little bit risky and not something that I would personally do to try to like come up with a new market or launch something that doesn't have proven demand. Instead, we're just going to look for types of products that are already selling well on Amazon and just kind of mimic them, selling that same market. Because we already know that people are already coming here every day on Amazon.com with their credit cards out or credit cards stored, making the search for these items. And those are the types of items that we're going to look for. So, I think, so now we've kind of gone over the types of products we look for. And I guess the next thing would be, okay, well, how do we go about finding these items, right? So we're back here on the Amazon store. One spot that you can look at is the Amazon bestsellers. So if you just Google it, click Amazon bestsellers, this is going to pull up, these are all the best-selling items currently on Amazon. All right. If I were to click into some of these subcategories, now I'm in the bestsellers in home and kitchen. Maybe I'd even drill down a little bit further and say, like, let's do bath and bathrobes. And I'm just kind of, making this up as I go as far as these selections. Now, all of these would be products, in this subcategory bathrugs. This is like the bestseller, then this one, and so forth. You can come up with product ideas this way. However, it's very kind of like time consuming and difficult. All right. This a few years ago is how I used to do product research. I was looking here in the bestsellers. I then click on this item. I would scroll down. I would see, okay, this is a 988 in home and kitchen. And I had some rule of thumb. So I would say okay, anything less than 2,000 in home and kitchen is a good seller, or, anything less than whatever, 1,000 in patio lawn garden is good. The thing was, it was very tough to, A, this is very time consuming, and B, I wasn't ever very sure on how much this, that bestseller rank sold. So that's when we came up with one piece of the Jungle Scout tool suite, which is the Chrome extension here. So what we're looking at is a Google Chrome extension. So right now I'm inside of the Google Chrome browser. I've installed Jungle Scout. Therefore, I have this little JS icon up here. And whenever you're browsing on the Amazon store, you can click this and it gives you all of this information that a seller needs to see to make good product research decisions. Okay. So like we talked about before, we want something, in that like $20 to $50 price point. We want something with existing demand, not too competitive. This shows us how much the FBA fees are, and like the net would be how much money is left over after Amazon takes their cut. So this is all, the important information we need to verify a market or, make these wise market decisions. That being said, I want to take one step back, and this is great after we've come up with product ideas, but we still kind of need product ideas, right? So, like we were saying, if you want a free way to do it, you can search here in the Amazon bestsellers. You can sort through these items, and you can look for items that are selling well and meet that other criteria like we were talking about, like the small and lightweight and simple and not easily breakable, no brand allegiance, and so forth. Another way we can do this, and this is how we'll be doing it tonight.
Just Greg, can you just
sure
back up for 1 second? And maybe it'd be helpful to mention the sales estimator at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point again. So this is another totally free tool. If you go to junglescout.com/estimator, you're going to see this right here. And this is, like I said, this is totally free. It's a tool that we built because, like we were talking about before, if you have the best sellers rank, I'm going to go down here. We have this best sellers rank is 988 in home and kitchen. So if I go back to the sales estimator, and that's junglescout.com/estimator, I click on, all right, I'm going to click on home and kitchen. I think I said 988. So we built this tool so that you would now have a way to find out how much, or the estimate of how many units a product sold a month. So this particular item sells about 2,700 of these each month. Keep in mind, this is an estimate. Amazon doesn't release this information. However, our in-house models have gotten pretty good. So like in reality, this item probably sells between, let's say, like 2,700 and 2,800 or something along those lines. But, it's in this area each month. So this is a good way, and again, totally free, to check the demand of a product.
So what would your benchmark be for something that would be of good demand?
Yeah, so I'm going to hold on to that question for one minute again. And what we'll do is we'll come up with a product or a particular niche idea, and then I'll go over the specific criteria that I look for to verify demand and competition. How's that sound?
Perfect. Would you mind zooming in a little bit?
Yep.
People said it's a little blurry.
Sure.
Thank you.
And then, is that better?
Yep.
And then again, if you also wanted to drop in the link to the YouTube, can't they usually get a little better resolution there?
Yeah. Good idea.
All right. So right now, we're inside of the Jungle Scout web app. Okay. So if you were on our website, you'd see we have two different products. One is the Jungle Scout web app. One is the Jungle Scout extension. I just already gave you a brief introduction of the extension. Remember, that operates inside the Amazon store. This tool right here, this is, a web-based piece of software that, is like hosted on our server. You go to our site. We're not on Amazon anymore. This is on the Jungle Scout site. I know there's usually a little bit of confusion there, so I try to clarify that a few times. But what we've done is we've re-indexed or rebuilt Amazon's catalog in such a way that it's user-friendly for us sellers to sort through their products. So if I'm on Amazon's site, it's designed and it's built for consumers and it's really good at selling stuff for people. However, I can't, if I were to come up with a product idea, let's just see whatever the top is here. Let's say teapot. I can't filter Amazon's catalog on their website to say, hey, just show me the products that sell, a few hundred each month and are priced between this and so forth. They have a few filters over here. However, there's not one for estimated monthly sales or size or so forth. With this particular one, we did get a price, but sometimes you don't even get price. So we've kind of re-indexed their products in a way that, you can make all those specific filters. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you a demo here because I think it's the best way. And I'm going to go ahead and just select a few categories. So let's see, arts and crafts. I'm going to select, let's try baby. I try to stay away from any of these like electronics type items or cell phones. We'll do health and personal care. And I'm just selecting a few here that I know are usually pretty good categories for like private label sellers. And then we'll go ahead and enter that criteria we were talking about. So like what did I say, $20 to $50. I like to find products that are already selling about 300 a month or more. So that'd be 10 a day. That's my personal rule of thumb or threshold. Let's say I want a product that's selling 300 a day, yet has under 50 reviews, because that to me signifies that it's not a very mature or saturated niche. If this guy, he only has 50 reviews, so it's a pretty new product, yet he's still selling 300 a month, that signifies to me that, okay, that might be a good opportunity for me. And then let's go ahead and just say like under 4 pounds, because remember, I want something relatively lightweight. And then we can also up here select standard products, no oversize. And let's go ahead and just filter this. So within a few seconds, the database will show us all of the products that meet this specific criteria. So, it looks like there's about 10,300,000 products in here. And of those, in these categories with this specific criteria, now we have about 720 to look at. All right. And if this number is still too large, or if it's then too small, we can adjust this criteria accordingly. Maybe we say a little less reviews, or the price range is a little bit wider, or whatever. But we'll look through here. And to be honest, at this point, all I'm doing is looking at the pictures. And I'm looking for products that I think would be good private label products. So these are all the things that we've been, talking about this whole webinar, something simple and lightweight and so forth. So for instance, what's this? I don't know what makes this a pet jar, but this is a plastic jar. So I'm going to go ahead and just open this in a new tab. These are acrylic sign holders. That's something that is simple, lightweight, could easily be manufactured in China. Let's see, what else do we have here? These are cooling racks. That looks possibly like a good opportunity. Let's see what else. Soap dispensers. And guys, like I said, all I'm really doing here is looking at the pictures. I'm looking for these like small and simple and lightweight items. Here's a good example of something that I actually didn't mention earlier. I try to stay away from seasonal type products. So right now, this product is, I'm sure, selling really well because it's almost Easter, right? But as soon as Easter is over, this Easter bunny isn't going to be selling well. So that's a product that I want to stay away from. Instead, I want to find something that sells well all year long. So I'm just looking through a few other items here, see if there's any that catch my eye. I try to stay away from batteries or, electronic type items. I think I mentioned that. Personally, I stay away from supplements just because I already know that that's a super competitive, kind of like cutthroat niche. Let's see what else we have here. Maybe we'll just try to find one more example. A memory keeper's punch board. I don't really know what that is, but we'll take a look at it. So now I have, let's see, I have about 6 potential products that I pulled up. Okay. So before we started with no product ideas, now we have 6 product ideas, and we just, there's 200 on this page. I've only gotten to like number 25 or something. So now we have 6 potential product ideas. And at this point, I want to see whether this is a good product or not. All right. So what I'm going to do is, like, I open it up in the Amazon store. I'm going to pull out what I think are the main keywords for this particular product and search for it on the whole store. So let's see here. Let's just try. What do you guys think? Maybe plastic wide mouth jar. Is that a good term to describe this? Plastic wide mouth jar. Let's see what comes up here. All right. So, okay, most of these are a little bit different than that product, but in the same general vicinity. So now I'm going to run the Jungle Scout extension again. So again, this is often confused, so I'm going to clarify this. This little box you see right here, this is the extension. This installs into Chrome, operates on the Amazon store. That's different than the Jungle Scout web app, what we were just looking at with the product database in there. So right away, I see a bunch of good information here. There's lots of sales, right? 5,000, 400, 3,000. This guy's selling 5,000. However, when I look over here at the price category, or the price column, most of these are too inexpensive to meet my specific criteria. What I can do though is I can filter and say, okay, only show me the ones that are, let's say, 8. Well, let's just do 20. So filter. All right. There's 3 that are selling for over $20. That was the one we found in the product database, right? Only 7 reviews, and it's already selling $443 a month. Then we have these those are pretty similar. This one's not selling very well though, but he doesn't have any reviews yet. And then this last one, this is these are just mason jar lids, so that's different. But what I want to do, what I'm trying to do here is verify that there's existing demand for this type of product. So people are already searching on Amazon for this product, and that it's not too competitive. This particular example, there's not a lot of items that are the same as the product that we're looking for. So it makes it a little bit more complicated. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next item, and then we can come back and revisit this. Hopefully the next one is maybe a little simpler of an example, just so one we can start on. And keep in mind, guys, I don't have any like product ideas when I started this. And I do that on purpose just because I want you to see what it looks like to like look over someone's shoulder as they're doing product research and coming up with a good product. And some of these items are going to be good opportunities, and some are going to be not good opportunities. And it's important for you to understand, why both are like that. So looks like we have an acrylic sign holder. And I'm going to search for this. Again, I'm going to run the Jungle Scout extension. And this brings back, again, all that important information that we're looking for when we're doing product research. So I think this particular one is a more straightforward and easier example, okay? So we've already talked about that. I look for something that has sufficient demand, right? But you might be saying, okay, well, what is sufficient demand? Like, how many do you actually look for? Personally, I like to sell at least 10 units a day, which would be 300 a month. And I've found in order to get there, I like to see an existing demand on Amazon of 3,000 units per month. So if I were to add up everyone who's selling acrylic sign holders, which, let's see, it's this guy, it's this guy, looks like all these people are, right? If I were to add these up, I have 2,000 and 600. We're at like 2,700. There's 3,000. If I add those up, we're at 4,000, 5,000. So well over 3,000 units. So it has plenty of demand. It looks like a price point that we're interested in. This top guy is only $15, but the rest of these are 20, 40, 70, 30, and so forth. And then once I look at to verify there's sufficient demand and the price point something that I'm interested in, then I'll see how competitive the market is. And to do this, I'll look at the number of reviews, okay? And my rule of thumb here is in the top 5 results. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let me actually, I'm sorry, I'm going to zoom in on this to make sure everyone can see it. Probably better. In the top 5 results, I like to see 1 or 2 sellers with under 50 reviews. So, okay, there's 1, 2, 3 sellers with under 50. And the top 10 results, I like to see like 4 or 5 product sellers with under 50 reviews. And that, again, is true here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sellers with under 50 reviews. And the reason I say 50 reviews is 50 reviews is a very achievable number to get. You can do a product giveaway to get your product started and easily get 50 reviews by giving away that many units. That will kind of jumpstart your listing, give buyers social proof that they need, as well as, let Amazon's ranking algorithm know that your product's, a good one. So for this particular product, this is something that's good, something that you would want to move forward on and kind of like go to the next phase of research, okay? It's in a price area we like. There's plenty of demand. It's not very competitive. We can easily get up here in one of these top spots and compete with these people. And, if we look over here, the FBA fees are very reasonable. Most of these are not oversized. Only one is. You can see there's plenty of money left over for us after Amazon takes their fees. So this is a good opportunity. Why don't we, again, what kind of questions do we have in there that would be kind of relevant to what we're talking about right now? I want to be able to answer everyone's questions, but some of them might be better to hold off till we get to kind of the next phase.
Sure.
Are there any good ones that should be answered right now?
I mean, maybe Murad was asking about the capital needed to start. I don't know if you can address that now. Sure.
So, all right, let's look at this example again. I'm going to zoom in on it. So just because, I have quite a bit of experience doing this business model, I have 30-something private label products for sale on Amazon. So I'm getting like pretty good at being able to ballpark how much these products cost. So for instance, like a 6-pack of this is what this guy's selling for $20. It's a 6-pack of what we see here. These are acrylic sign holders. I would guess something like that would cost about $5 for a 6-pack being manufactured in China. That being said, if you're able to order more products, it makes it a little bit easier for you. So for instance, if we're able to start out with 500 units, it's going to be a little bit easier for us to scale and grow our business. That being said, it's not required to start off with a minimum order of like 500. You could do it with 100. Just keep in mind, if you only order 100 products, it's very likely you're going to run out of stock before you are able to get in another shipment. So if this particular product costs $5 and we ordered 100, that'd be $500 to get started. However, like I said, if you have enough money to order 250 or 500, you're going to be much better off because you'll have some inventory to work with as opposed to just constantly running out of stock, having to restart, running out of stock, and so forth. So, yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
Great. So Casey was wondering, and I think it refers to this product, is there too many sales to be competitive?
So I wouldn't judge competitiveness by number of sales, all right? The one thing that really signifies how competitive a market or a niche is the number of reviews. So for instance, if we were to start by giving away, let's say like 40 units, and if we gave away 40, realistically, you'd probably get 35, 38 reviews. We would likely be up here, I want to say like in the top 6 spots. We would jump all these people down here that only have like 9, 13, 7, 15 reviews. So you can't really judge competition by the number of sales. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for these markets that have plenty of sales, but don't have that many reviews yet. So hopefully that answers that one.
Got it. And then I guess related to that, Rachel was asking if there is one that has a lot of reviews and then the rest don't really have a lot, maybe say under 300. Does that still fit your criteria?
If only one of the listings had a whole bunch, is that?
Yeah, at 700 reviews.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. That would still meet my criteria. And a lot of them you'll find that like there's one guy, maybe this top one has like 500 reviews, but then everyone else has 30, 100, 40, 20, whatever. That's fine. That'd be a market that I'd be willing to enter.
Great.
So yeah, I'm going to go ahead. Let's look at one more example, and we'll see. I'm hoping to find an example that's like too competitive so I can show you what that looks like, but we'll try this one. This is a cooling rack. So I'm going to search cooling rack in the Amazon store, and let's see what we come up with. So again, these all look like, the same cooling rack that we found. Okay, good. This is a pretty good example of something that, in my opinions, well, this would be a good example, like a borderline one. But so there's tons of sales, right? This top guy is killing it with 5,000 sales a month, 3,000. Just imagine that's selling 100 a day, which is really good. I personally shoot for 10 a day for all my products. And I mean, everyone in this particular niche is selling well, right? Everyone on this whole first page looks like is selling like 10 a day or more. Some people are selling 50 or 100 a day. When I look at the number of reviews, though, this is a good example of something that is much more competitive. So back on this acrylic rack, remember, these people have 17, 7, 158, 30, 109, very achievable number of reviews, whereas this is much more competitive. This guy in the number 5 spot snuck in with 71 reviews, but remember, I like to see 1 or 2 sellers under 50 in the top 5, and like 4 or 5 in the top 10 with under 50 reviews. And I see 2 there, but then again, some of these other guys just have tons of reviews. This person has 2,500 and they're in the number 12 spot. Oh, I guess this isn't a cooling rack, so I guess that can be thrown out here. If you hover over the number, you can X out of them. So look at some of these others, though. This is an example of a particular niche that, in my opinion, is too competitive. It's too mature and saturated for you to want to get into. So I'm glad this one showed up. And then again, like we're talking about, these are priced a little bit too low, right? So if you sell this cooling rack at $8.30, after Amazon fees, there's only $3.04 left. So even if you were able to land these for $2 or $1.50, if you're only making $1 or $1.50 profit on each item you sell, it just takes a lot of volume to make any money. It's a lot easier if you're making $5 or $10 to, you don't have to sell nearly as many products to make good money. So this is a particular market that I wouldn't want to enter. So let's see. I'll go ahead and take a few more questions if you have them, again, because I think we're at we've just gone over a lot right there, and I'm sure there's some questions.
Yeah, there are several people who were wondering. You said like you would just run a promotional giveaway or something. Like, how would that work, or what would they do to do that to get the reviews?
Yeah, so we've actually started a sister site, and I'll also go over some other ways you can do this, but we started reviewkick.com, And what Review Kick is, and it's totally free right now too. On there, we have roughly like 15,000 Amazon reviewers, and you can go there right now and check it out. And if you're a reviewer, you can even register for free. And what Amazon sellers do is we go on there, we post our product, and we're willing to give away our product at a deep discount if in exchange you leave a review. So for instance, with our marshmallow sticks, we went on there. They're normally $20. We gave you a coupon for $2. So the total price is $2. We'll give that to you if you'll leave an honest review in exchange. So as you can imagine, this is a really good deal for reviewers. A lot of people would love, to get 90% off in exchange for a review. So it's pretty easy to get reviews this way. And it's super easy to jumpstart a product. So without doing giveaways like that, what happens on Amazon is essentially your products just like die a slow death. They never start making sales because, as consumers on Amazon, we don't want to buy anything that doesn't have reviews, right? That's like one of the things that's so awesome about Amazon is you can see real reviews about products and know whether it's a good product or not. So in order to sell well on Amazon, you really have to have reviews. So it's a good way to get them.
Awesome.
Yep.
There was a question about a seller. So if Amazon is a seller, would that deter you from selling that product?
Good question. And I'm glad someone asked this. So let me bring back up the Amazon store. And what they're talking about is under this column, buy box seller, you see AMZ, and then FBA. So let me just go over this real quick. Someone like me or you and taking advantage of this opportunity that we're talking about right now would be an FBA seller. So what that is FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. And what this means is, like we ordered our marshmallow sticks. They were shipped from China to California, and then we forwarded them from California to Amazon's warehouse. We own the product. However, Amazon stores it in their warehouse. They do the fulfillment, and they do the customer service. So when someone places an order on Amazon, I'm not like physically going out to my garage and packing this order and shipping it to someone. Amazon's handling all that for me. They store it, then they pick it and they pack it and they ship it to the customer. Okay. So that's what it means by FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. A third party like me or you is the one that owns the inventory. If you see the buy box seller is Amazon, AMZ, that means that Amazon physically ordered this product. So Amazon ordered this product from this brand Wilton. They own the product then, they stored it in their warehouse and they do the same thing as fulfillment goes. But I'm not concerned one bit about selling products that Amazon's also selling on. And I'll tell you why. Keep in mind, Amazon makes good money on any product that they sell on their platform. They charge a commission, they charge a pick and pack fee, weight handling, and so forth. As you can see, on this $13 item, they're charging $6. So they make money. And a lot of times, they actually make more money by selling FBA items than their own items because their own items, a lot of times, the margins are so thin. So I've never seen anything to lead me to believe that Amazon likes ranking their own products better than others. There's a lot of other things that go into it. Keep in mind that it's not like the top 10 are all Amazon, then the bottom 10 are all FBA, right? They rank based on some other factors. The other good thing is Amazon's never going to do, like these product giveaways on Review Kick to get reviews, right? They do it totally organically. And the other thing is they don't do these sponsored ads for their own product, which is another really good way to make sales. So you see these top 3 products are sponsored. So what this is, this pay-per-click. If these were one of my products, I'd be paying like $0.25 each time someone clicked on this or whatever the price. And same thing over here. So Amazon doesn't take advantage of a lot of the good, things that us as FBA sellers can take advantage of. So to answer your question, don't worry at all. I would almost rather sell against listings that Amazon has created as opposed to other FBA sellers.
Very interesting.
Yeah. All right. What other? We have another good question there again.
Yeah, Daniel, I was just asking, what is a good rule of thumb for sales rank? And you weighted a difference between Amazon BSR and the ranking for that category.
Yeah. So back like 2 years ago, or when I was getting started on Amazon, I had all these rule of thumbs for sales rank. So I'd be like, only sell products with a sales rank under 1,000. Now that Jungle Scout, now that we collect a whole bunch of data, I've realized that all those rule of thumbs are like garbage. And the reason for that is it varies so wildly. A sales rank of like 1,000 in appliances is only going to sell like 50 a month, whereas a sales rank of 1,000 in kitchen and dining sells like 3,000 or 5,000 or whatever a month. So you can't really go by these rule of thumbs that like used to be the case. What I would recommend to you instead is go to junglescout.com/estimator. And again, this is totally free. So it's not like I'm saying this just to sell you something. It's free. Instead, enter the sales rank and find out how many sales it's making a month instead of going by these rule of thumbs. It's a much better way to do it. So, yeah.
All right. So yeah, I guess the rest of the questions maybe later, as far as like when you're looking for purchasing in bulk, like you alluded to with the acrylic stands.
Okay, cool. So kind of like the next step in this process, and some of you kind of already know about this, some of you not so much. And I'm just going to go over this kind of like real quick, would be, okay, so we found a good product, right? We used the Jungle Scout product database. We have come up with some product ideas. So we came up with, let's see, 6 product ideas. We had the plastic jars, the cooling racks, the acrylic stands. Cooling racks were too competitive. Acrylic stands were actually a pretty good opportunity. So if you're new to this, the next step would be to go to Alibaba.com is the best site for this. And you would just search, and I'll do this right now in real time with you guys. Let me share my screen. I'm going to share this, and I am going to Alibaba. See, we did acrylic. Couldn't spell. I think I still spelled acrylic wrong. Never been much of a speller. And I'm going to look for this product on Alibaba. So that looks kind of similar, but let me try to get a little more specific. Let's see, what's another way? Maybe acrylic sign holder. Sign holder. All right. And then like, let's see, which one was the best seller? I think it was this one. Now, as you can see, something like this looks very similar to this one, or let's see, I guarantee like this factory makes it too. Excuse me. So what these are on Alibaba, these are all real factories, mostly in China, that make these style of products, okay? So when we talk about private labeling, we're not coming up with a new invention or a new product idea or whatever. These are already factories making this kind of stuff, and we're just going to ask them, say, hey, we need a 6-pack of this item that you're already creating. We're going to put our name on it. So if we were to do this one, maybe we would call it Jungle Sign Holders to go with the Jungle Sticks family. And we'd put a little sticker on the packaging or whatever that said Jungle Sign Holders. And then we would then create a brand new listing on Amazon. So instead of, this listing, we'd create a new one. It would be by Jungle Sign Holders or whatever we called it. And then you would see our product on here, just like you do with, when we do marshmallow sticks. I know you guys already saw this, but when we do marshmallow sticks, this is, by Jungle Sticks. This is our product right here. So it's overall a pretty simple business model. And, it's so cool because it's a really good, like, lifestyle type business, right? Since we're not doing the actual day-to-day type work, Amazon's doing that for us. They're storing our product, they're picking it and packing it, they're doing the customer service and so forth. So for us, all we have to worry about is finding a good product, finding a good supplier, and then shipping it, from China into Amazon. So it's really, it's a really good business model opportunity right now if you're the type that wants to start a small business, or maybe a side hustle, or you want to quit your job or whatever. It's so cool for that.
Mhm.
Go ahead, again.
Yeah, Terry was asking, like, what is your success percentage on new products and how many failures should you expect? But like, how can somebody mitigate any risks? Like, how can you have these few ideas? Like, what would you do to, make sure that you have the greatest chance of success?
Sure, and that's a good question. So one is, if you do the proper product research, you almost like can't fail. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but for instance, like, and I'll be completely honest with you, when we were doing these marshmallow sticks, we were doing this in real time on live webinars like this, doing the product research. I ordered it. And I was kind of like worried. It's like, okay, there was thousands and thousands of people following along with this case study. Like, what if these don't sell? Like, I was confident because I had launched a bunch of products, but like part of it was like, man, this is gonna look so bad. I recommend these guidelines to people. Like, what if these don't sell? But they do. They sell like 400 or 500 a month now. So you have to find an item that, has sufficient demand, that isn't too competitive, and so forth. That being said, one of the huge advantages about, this particular type of business model and opportunity is, the good thing is you're buying real assets. Okay. That's one of the things I really like about it. Like, for instance, when you're starting a software company or something else, if you create a piece of software and you spend 10 or 20 or 100,000 or however much money on it, and no one buys it, no one's purchasing it, you've wasted all that money. No one's going to buy like the code from you, right? Because it's not a valuable piece of software. No one wants this. The good thing about buying, like physical hard assets is, especially with Amazon, you can almost always just drop the price to a point where, maybe you're just breaking even. But at that price, like, it's going to sell on Amazon. You wouldn't make any money off it, right? But it would be a good opportunity. You would learn from it well. So that being said, I've all the products that I've launched, this is how I define a failure. And I have had a few, okay? But how I don't have any products out of all the ones I've launched that are just like, I don't have like 1,000 units sitting in Amazon that won't sell, right? There are some items, however, so it might be, all right, cool. Sorry about that. So how I define a failure is when I'm not getting a good enough return on my investment to want to continue investing my cash in this product. So on all my products, I like to shoot for 100% ROI. So if I spend $5 on a product, I want to make $5 profit. Or if I purchase a $10 product, I want to make $10. I think they lost us again. Asked, is the webinar over?
Peterson says you are back.
Now it says you ended the broadcast. Where's
our shit?
It may have. Rachel says we're good again.
Wait, are you live?
Now we're back. We're getting all these mixed signals here.
Love a 20-second delay.
Yeah.
Who's on the right side? Who's not? Okay, so I think we're back.
All right. So I apologize for that, guys. I'm going to continue now. I like to see 100% ROI on all my products. So if one of my products, maybe I had to drop the price a little bit for it to sell well, or there's more competition or whatever, then maybe, you know, I bought this product for $10. I'm only making $5 profit. Now it's only 50% ROI. Then I have to consider, okay, do I want to continue purchasing this product, or would I rather spend my money to purchase other products where I know I can make more money? So that for me is, you know, my success or failure rate. You know, I've done that with about 3 out of 30 something private label type items. But again, I didn't lose money on these. I just consider it a failure if I'm not making as much as what I'd like.
Great. So one of the things that I thought would also help is to mitigate any risk is if you could show us like how you would track the data without investing anything.
Sure. And this is a good point again. So let's pretend like we want to take, I'm going to share my screen with you again. And just confirm that you can see my screen again.
Yep.
So I know. Okay, cool. Let's pretend that we do want to sell our acrylic sign holders, okay? So again, the screen you're looking at, remember, we're back inside of the Jungle Scout web app, all right? This is the web-based product. This is not the Google Chrome extension. So let's see. Let me find our acrylic sign holders. It's one of these. Let me just search for it again. So man, that's like the hardest word for me. Acrylic. I think that's it. Acrylic sign holder. So one of the things that you can do, okay, so let's say right now I found this opportunity, which we have. It seems like a good opportunity. However, like I'm a little bit nervous. You know, I don't have a whole lot of extra money to spend before I order $1,000 worth of acrylic sign holders. Like I want a little bit more proof that that they're really selling well. So what I can do, I can open up a few of these and I can track these items in real time inside the product tracker. So this is inside the Jungle Scout web app. I just took the URL here. I'm going to add it to my product tracker. That one maybe is already in there. Let me try this again. I'm going to take the ASIN right here and add that. And I'm going to go ahead and find one or two more as well. So let me go back to this page and let's try this one too. So I'm going to take the ASIN number here and put this into the product tracker. I'm going to add these. And now what we've done now is we're now pulling up real-time data of how much inventory is in stock and how many units have sold each day. And from here on out, if we don't have any existing data on the product, it's going to track it. So what we can see here is, you know, we'll say, okay, if we were to actually sell this product, this is about how many we would sell each day if we were in the same position as this guy. So, you know, yesterday I would have sold our 19 units. And I can follow this each day. You know, tomorrow I can come back and look how many it sold the day before. And I can get an idea and say, okay, you know, how many would this have sold each day? Or if we look at this item, you know, back here towards the beginning of the month, he was selling, you know, wow, this one sells good. Like this day he sold 57, the next day 19, the next day 52, then 17. It kind of jumps around, but you get a good idea, right, of how many units are actually being sold and how much inventory he has in stock, you know. So it has like 841 units in stock, the next day 822, and that's how we know he sold 19. The next day 770 and so forth. And the green line here, this is the sales rank, so we can kind of get a gauge of, you know, if the sales rank is spiking or fluctuating much and so forth. And this mitigates the risk of it would be possible that on one or two or however many of these items that, maybe this guy just did a giveaway, right? So he was trying to get more reviews, or, it's probably more likely for this guy with only 30 reviews. Maybe he just did a big giveaway over the past few days, and it's making it appear that he's selling 20 a day, but really he was giving away 15 a day. So he's only like organically selling 5. That's one of the huge advantages of the product tracker. We can track this over the course of a month and then say, okay, he's really selling, day in and day out, 20, 25, 30, however many units. So we have a much better idea. So that, that really helps mitigate some of the risk before you actually go forward and place an order. So this would be like the last step. My first step, I'd be inside the product database. I'd be looking for a product idea. Then I would go to the Amazon store. I would search for the whatever I think is the main keyword. I'd pull up Jungle Scout there. I would check to make sure there is sufficient. So let's see. I would pull up Jungle Scout there. I would check to make sure there's sufficient demand, that it's not too competitive. The price point of the particular niche is what I'm looking for. And then if I decided it was good and I was pretty confident I wanted to sell it, I'd probably start tracking, instead of just these 2, I'd probably go ahead and start tracking like the top 10. And then I can really look at these items underneath a magnifying glass to make sure that, they're what I want to sell.
Mm-hmm. One of the really cool things about Jungle Scout Pro, Greg, in that window with the extension, is I like to just go down and add it to the product tracker.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So if you see this little plus sign here, I showed you guys the hard way, but you can just click this. So I could click, and then all of the items that I wanted, all those would be added into the tracker. And then I can remember those are being updated on a daily basis in real time, how many items are being sold. So we have, we're just over an hour here again. Maybe there's a few last questions we could take. Did you see any recurring themes or something that wasn't clear?
No, the chat box went quiet. Crickets.
Hopefully that doesn't mean that we lost them.
No, we do have most people. So yeah, please feel free. Thank you, Rachel, for dropping in questions before we do wrap up. Yes, so Rachel touched on this. Do you use the Amazon pay-per-click to identify the most searched words to help you with your algorithm? I don't know if that refers to Jungle Scout or I mean, what's your approach with, like, you get your reviews, and then do you also do outside marketing outside of Amazon or pay-per-click campaigns?
Yeah, good question. So I definitely do use Amazon's internal pay-per-click. So this is different than Facebook pay-per-click or Google pay-per-click or whatever. This is inside of Amazon, and it's to show up in one of those sponsored results. All right. So it helps a lot get additional sales. And when you're getting additional sales, you're ranking better, which is then going to result in more organic sales and so forth. So I definitely use Amazon's internal pay-per-click. It is very easy to do. And if you're just getting started, I wouldn't even get hung up on that right now, because once it comes time, you can easily spend like 5 minutes on YouTube figuring it out. It's like the easiest pay-per-click I've ever used.
Awesome. So Raphael was asking if you could dig into like these sales estimates that you've been referencing from Jungle Scout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, where you get that?
Sure. And while I talk here, I'm going to try to pull up a little graph to show you that should help with this. But what we do is at Jungle Scout, as you guys know, Amazon doesn't release the number of sales for a particular product. So we found out 2 ways that we can come up with really good estimates on how to figure this out. So the first way, and this would be like the instant way. So if we're looking at the Jungle Scout extension, and instantly we're shown approximately how many products are sold on a monthly basis. I'm going to share my screen to show you this graph. Let's see. So we follow about, now it's up to like 200,000 Amazon products on a monthly basis, and we track their sales and their BSR, okay? Then at the end of each month, we have a graph that looks something like this. We have a data scientist who runs a regression analysis on all this data and comes up with models to estimate monthly sales based off rank. So as you can kind of see, I'll zoom in here from like this scatter plot. A sales rank of 3,000, probably sells between, let's say, like 150 and 200. So then, we collect a whole bunch of different points and we kind of take the average of that. So you're able to get, a really good estimate. So that's the way we're able to come up with these instant estimates based off of rank. The other way that you see, like, for instance, we're looking at this item. The way we're able to come up with the sales estimates on a daily basis inside of the product tracker is we can find out how much inventory is in stock if it's less than 999, and we can take the difference of that each day to know how many products the seller's selling. So, he had 841 in stock. The next day he had 822 in stock. So the difference there is 19. The next day there was 770 in stock, so we sold 52 and so on. So those are the two ways we can come up with the number of sales.
Fantastic.
Yeah, maybe one more quick question again, and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew was asking for advice on contacting suppliers. I thought we covered that pretty well in the blog post for the jungle sticks, but anything else that you might recommend?
Yeah, do you want to drop the link into the box again and I'll go ahead and just say it on here too. So on our collaborative product launch, that's what we've been talking about with the jungle sticks and so forth. We in detail, really go over all these specific steps about, like, I even give you our template that we use for contacting suppliers. You can copy and paste it and use it yourself and so forth. But if you go to junglescout.com/collaborative-launch, that will get you to the overview page that has all the recorded webinars. It has links to the blog posts and so forth. But in general, contacting suppliers is pretty straightforward. You find them on Alibaba. I'd recommend you just use our template, and you can email them. And then we go over a few of, kind of like the brief, like high level things that you should know when talking to them. Yeah.
All right. So Sean has really been asking drop shipping. So maybe like, I don't know if you have experience drop shipping or how that might compare to selling private label on Amazon.
Yeah. So in my opinion, drop shipping was a good opportunity, or like a good option pre-Amazon, right? So, why is drop shipping appealing? Okay, like, you don't have to handle the product, right? You take on very little risk because someone places an order, then you ship it to them and so forth. The truth is now, though, these sites are extremely hard to set up because more and more shoppers are starting their shopping on Amazon. Less and less every month and year, people are going to Google to look for products, which is where they might find your drop shipping site. But instead, they're going to Amazon.com. They're making their search and so forth to look for products. So I don't have a lot of experience in drop shipping, so I can't give you like all the details. But to me, I think that now that's just not as good of an opportunity as what this the Amazon private label thing is.
Yeah, and I think that really touches on the amazing thing with selling on Amazon is once you get your product live, you're all of a sudden eligible for millions of visitors, purchase-minded visitors every day. Versus drop shipping, where you're essentially like relying on either paid traffic or SEO and getting users to your site. So not only are your conversion rates going to be much lower, but just the fact of getting somebody in your store is going to be much harder. Whereas theoretically, they go to Amazon.com and they are a click away from your store.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's tough to drive traffic to a site. That takes a lot more different types of like skill sets than what it does to launch a product on Amazon. And I think it takes a lot longer as well. Like how long did it take us to get to the #1 spot on Amazon again? Like
53 days.
53 days.
Yeah.
Whereas like in Google, you can never get to like one of those top spots in 53 days anymore. It's like it's super hard to, rank in their algorithms now. It'd take like a year with a lot of work and money and so forth.
Sure. So Adam was wondering, he lives overseas and how that might work. So you've been traveling overseas and you're an Amazon seller. Can you just give some insight on that?
Yeah, I certainly can. I don't have a lot of knowledge, or I don't feel like I'm educated enough about the tax aspect to really give you advice on that. However, I do know there's tons of information on this on the internet. However, the logistics, I can definitely give you some insight on that, and it's pretty straightforward. You can use a freight forwarder. Personally, I use this company called Flexport, but there's like hundreds of them who, like for instance, with our jungle sticks, we can ship our jungle sticks to this company. They're in Long Beach in California. They will then like open up the container or collect the air freight or whatever it is, put our Amazon labels for the boxes, and then ship it to Amazon for us. So we, to be honest with you, I've never actually like personally held like our jungle sticks or like some of my other products as well. Gen's seen them because he received a shipment to give to our photographer, but I actually haven't got to like actually see and hold one yet. So it can be done from anywhere in the world. You can sell in the U.S. store even though you're not living in the U.S., which a lot of people are. There are obviously some tax aspects of it and so forth, but it's definitely possible to do it, from overseas. Just like I know tons of people do it. You just need to look into the fine nuances of the tax stuff.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, I think it's probably a good opportunity to wrap it up here.